Hello, dear friends. Alex has quietly been preparing all along, step by step, building a dream of a real home for LYTUNA and little Henry. But the question everyone's waiting to see answered is, will that wedding turn out as grand as he hopes? LYTUNA, the woman who has endured so many storms, has her heart truly healed enough to open a new chapter and walk with Alex into a life of happiness. Stay with us until the very end of the video, because what's ahead might move you to tears and surprise you at the same time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a single important moment. That night, after Henry had fallen asleep peacefully in his crib, LYTUNA sat by the wooden window frame, her eyes lost in thought. Alex quietly walked over and wrapped his arms around her from behind. He whispered, "Have you ever thought that one day we might have our wedding right here in this wooden house?" LYTUNA froze for a moment, her heart racing. She had never dared to dream that far. For her, just having Henry safe and Alex by her side already felt like a miracle. Alex smiled gently, his eyes glowing with a warmth that was hard to put into words. Then he began to share the picture of his dream. Inside their little wooden house, soft candlelight would flicker across the old walls, casting a gentle glow. On the table, a vase of pure white flowers, the kind LYTUNA once said she loved. Nothing fancy or extravagant, just the people they loved gathered around to witness the moment he and LYTUNA exchanged their vows. Henry would be there too, resting in a new crib right beside the wedding table. That tiny boy would be the living proof of their love, the very first witness to his parents' happiness. Alex would take LYTUNA's hand, not with promises of wealth or grandeur, but with one simple, everlasting vow. From this day on, this home will always be the place that shelters you and our son. Hearing those words, LYTUNA's eyes shimmered with tears, her heart overflowing with happiness. In that moment, she understood for Alex, true happiness wasn't about luxury. It was right here in this modest wooden house where love and family were complete. LYTUNA sat in silence, her wide eyes shining with emotion. Alex's words felt like a soft melody slipping into her heart, awakening a longing for happiness she had never dared to dream of. "Alex, I never thought we would ever have a wedding." LYTUNA's voice trembled. Alex held her hand tighter, his gaze steady. "You deserve nothing but the very best. I don't need castles or fancy things, just this place, this wooden house with you and Henry. That's my dream wedding." Henry stirred gently in his crib, his tiny hands waving as if he wanted to join the conversation. They both laughed, then quietly looked at their child, the most living proof of their love. Alex leaned down and placed a tender kiss on LYTUNA's hand. "I promise, no matter how many storms life throws at us, I'll hold your hand all the way to the end. That wedding isn't just a ceremony. It's my vow that this home will always belong to us." Tears rolled down LYTUNA's cheeks, but they were tears of happiness. She rested her head on his shoulder and whispered softly, "As long as I have you and Henry, I'm not afraid of anything." Inside the little wooden house, the candlelight flickered, casting a glow over the three of them huddled together. It wasn't just a dream. It was the beginning of a new chapter, where love was defined by simplicity, yet meant to last forever. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the small window, filling the wooden house with a gentle glow. Birds chirped from the eaves, signaling the start of a new day full of life. LYTUNA slowly opened her eyes, surprised to find Alex was no longer lying beside her. She quickly sat up and stepped outside, only for her heart to stop in a rush of emotion. Right there in the little yard, Alex was busy setting up wooden planks. Sweat dotted his forehead, and his calloused hands were covered in dust. On a long table, he had already placed bunches of wildflowers he had picked from the garden, the pure white blossoms LYTUNA once admitted were her favorite. She stood still, her eyes shining. The sight brought back his words from the night before. "As long as it's here with you and Henry, that's my dream wedding." From the crib, Henry cooed happily, his bright little laugh making Alex look up. Their eyes met, and a radiant smile spread across Alex's face. "I want to start preparing, even with just the little things. Because I believe that one day you'll walk here in a white dress." LYTUNA covered her mouth, unable to hold back tears of happiness. She stepped closer and gently touched his rough hands. "Alex, as long as I have you and Henry, I already have everything. A wedding. For me is this very moment." Alex squeezed her hand and pulled her into his arms. With Henry's laughter echoing and the sweet scent of flowers filling the yard, their little family had truly found peace. And in the golden sunlight, it was clear the dream of a wedding was no longer distant or lavish, but alive in the sincerity and love they shared. Alex was still focused on building the wooden frame, while LYTUNA cleaned up and tended to Henry. The air was filled with a quiet, simple joy. But then a strange sound echoed from the fence at the far end of the yard. Startled, LYTUNA's instinctive worry rose immediately. She clutched Henry tightly to her chest, her eyes fixed on the direction of the noise. Alex froze as well, turning toward it. In the distance, a frail figure slowly approached. Thin, with a gaunt face and weary steps, yet eyes that scanned with sharp intent. The person stopped at the old wooden gate, one trembling hand gripping its worn frame. LYTUNA shivered memories from the past rushing back in an instant. It was a face she thought she would never have to see again. Alex caught the fear in her eyes. He quickly stepped forward, placing himself protectively in front of her and Henry. His voice dropped low and steady. "Don't worry, I'm here." Henry suddenly burst into tears in his mother's arms, his cries shattering the tense silence. LYTUNA held him tighter, her tearful eyes meeting Alex's. The figure at the gate remained still, saying nothing, only staring into the wooden house, the home where happiness was being carefully built. The air grew thick with unbearable tension. The dream wedding Alex and LYTUNA had just spoken of seemed overshadowed by a looming threat now knocking quietly at their door. Alex clenched his fists, his eyes locked firmly on the gate. He knew that if he wanted to protect this happiness, he would have to face it head on and shield LYTUNA and Henry with everything he had. Alex strode quickly toward the gate, his boots crunching hard against the gravel with each determined step. His eyes were sharp, his hand clenched, as if ready to grab hold of the stranger. "Who are you? Stop right there." Alex's voice rang out with authority. The man flinched, stumbling back a step. Fear flickered in his sunken eyes. But instead of answering, he suddenly turned and ran, his frail frame staggering yet desperate in its escape. Alex lunged forward, his footsteps pounding against the yard. But within moments, the thin figure vanished behind the trees at the end of the path, leaving behind an eerie silence that settled over everything. LYTUNA stood on the porch, clutching Henry tightly, her heart pounding. She watched Alex return, his breathing heavy, his eyes still burning with vigilance. The peaceful morning air now felt heavy, as though an invisible hand was squeezing it tight. Alex walked up to her, placed a hand on her shoulder, and spoke in a steady, low voice. "Don't be afraid. I won't let anyone hurt you or our son." Henry whimpered softly in his mother's arms, his clear eyes fixed on his father, as if reaching out for reassurance. LYTUNA nodded, but deep inside, unease still smoldered. Who was that man? And why did he come here, just as they were building their home of happiness? The sky remained a clear blue. The sunlight still poured golden over the wooden house. But in the hearts of Alex and LYTUNA, a new storm seemed to be quietly approaching.
Trong tập này, chúng ta sẽ theo chân Adam, chàng trai mang trong mình một trái tim ấm áp và đầy nghị lực. Sau những ngày tháng khó khăn, Adam đã từng giúp đỡ Huyen vượt qua cơn bão cuộc đời. Giờ đây, khi đặt chân lên thành phố phồn hoa với góc cao của mình, để gặp lại họ, những con người đã cùng anh chia sẻ với bất kỳ. Hành trình này không chỉ là một cuộc ngộ, mà còn là một câu chuyện về niềm tin, sự cố gắng và mơ ước để xây dựng lại một mái ấm bình yên cho cả ba. Và liệu Adam và LYTUNA sẽ là người dẫn dắt câu chuyện xúc động nào sẽ mở ra phía trước. Trong căn nhà nhỏ từng là nơi cất giữ bao nhiêu người kỷ niệm hạnh phúc, giờ đây dưới cái nắng oi ả mùa hè, chỉ còn lại một mình Adam. Anh ngồi lặng lẽ nơi góc bếp, nhìn một lửa tí tách cháy xuống nồi, dưới đáy nồi nhỏ. Tiếng gió thổi qua khung cửa gỗ cũ kỹ khiến mọi thứ rung quạnh. Hình về những người bên hiền và để hạnh phúc một người. Nếu làm đến mức khiến trái tim Adam thắt lại.